Dan here, DD Speed Shop. So I want to do a quick video. We've been slamming videos out left and right lately, and I know obviously everyone's not watching every single minute of every single video, even though you really should be. I don't know what else you got going on in life here. It's summertime, but cars have been getting sold, and there's been a pile of questions kind of happening in the comment section, and I thought we would just maybe take a minute here, just between, us friends here, and discuss what's kind of going on and maybe address all these kind of questions. So we are trying to sell off a bunch of hot rods, and we've been all over the place financially, stressfully financially, which I appreciate you guys hanging out and being supportive and all that sort of stuff. We are staying in Canada. We're not moving to Texas or Georgia, wherever people are thinking. That's not in the cards just yet. But anyways, the big thing was selling cars, and the goal was always to start was maybe not try and sell some of the favorite cars. So obviously the two Nomads I really wanted to keep, and I think we're going to be able to be there. I do want to keep the Nova. It may be on the block here. We're right down to the nitty gritty here. We're looking at a few homes, and anyway. So that being said, people have asking what has been sold. Honestly, I've forgotten half the stuff. The first two that went were that 57 Chevy hardtop project, big project, with LS in it, and the 56 four-door wagon LS swap deal. Both of those actually sold like instant to a couple of buddies from the East Coast. I want to say New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, one or the other, and they're actually coming this upcoming weekend. I don't know when this video is.
This is coming out on Monday.
This week, so in a couple of days they'll actually be here. And those idiots, great guys, plan is to drive both those cars back east, which I forget what they said, a few days, 4 days, I don't know. It's something. The Canadian road, basically east of Winnipeg to Toronto, which I think is like a 25-hour drive, is like single lane. Not the greatest. I mean, it is summer, so it's not like it's winter, but they're crazy guys. So that'll be fun. We'll get to film that and kind of do that stuff. The 56, I'm pretty confident in. We built that thing for Power Tour. Didn't get any miles on it. Part of the deal was I had to supply a trailer hitch for the 56. So if all goes wrong with the 57, they can tow it home. So I said, you know what? You buy two cars off of me from Greasy Dan's Greasy Flips, I will supply a trailer hitch. So we're gonna put a trailer hitch on that one car, give it a good once over. It shouldn't need much, but that being said, I don't really know. And the 57 needs a little bit of stuff. So they'll be here for a couple of days, kind of building that car in the driveway. They'll have access to all the tools and stuff like that. We'll make that happen. And then the second, well, you know what? I've already got the money and they got the title, so we're done here. There ain't no warranty, but they're good guys, and I think they get it. They want to live the adventure, and as someone who's been there, done that, I wouldn't do it again, but they have to learn that lesson for themselves. So those two are gone.
The black and white 57.
The black and white 57 went. Actually, that went to kind of a buddy, and that had a buyback clause on it. And that guy has been driving the wheels off that thing. Some
of you guys saw it at Back to the 50s.
He's sending me videos, changing wheels, doing burnouts, beating on the thing. Like, I don't know how many miles he has on it, but yeah, he drove Winnipeg to Back to the 50s, so that's Minnesota. 8-9 hour drive, so it's got, he must have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 miles on the thing. So at this point, like, it's whatever happens, and they're not easy miles. He keeps texting me, I love the way the exhaust sounds at like 5,000 RPM. So he's having a good time with it. He's talking about maybe changing the rear end and stuff. So if that's the case, I'm going to try and buy the factory one back out of him, because it's a posi unit with new brakes and stuff, and we could use it. So that thing's gone. He's enjoying it, and like I said, we got the buyback clause on that one. The Camaro went out west. Guy came, picked it up, and he must like it because he still texts me, so he's still happy. Easy to deal with guy. So that's gone. We'll walk over, we'll look at the other Camaro here shortly. The Cobra sold. That actually stayed local, which is kind of cool. So that's gone. Is that all I sold?
The rag top.
Oh, the convertible, yeah. The Roadster went, and that again went out west, so that was kind of cool. And I gave that Opal to Mike basically, so I gave that away, but that's whatever. so that was kind of that. The 47 Chevrolet here is actually up for sale. And so this one right here, this is a classic. I told you to cut the bush and maybe deal with it, not just...
Well, I put it there so that we could load it in the truck and throw it out.
Anyway, so this car, 47 Chevy, small block on a G-body chassis and all this stuff. And this one gets ignored, endlessly gets ignored. Every time I ignore it, I hear about it from the internet. You should be nice to that car. You don't deserve it. You should sell it, this and that. I listed it. I put it up for 10 grand. Which, is no small amount of money, but what are you getting for 10,000 bucks anymore? Not one person contacted me. I dropped it down to $8,000 and still no one has contacted me. So I'm not giving it away. The whole purpose of this is to try and make money. It cost me nothing to toss in storage, so that is where it's going to go back to, and ultimately it'll be a project down the road. We'll chop it, we'll use it for parts.
Franklin gets a doghouse.
We'll drive it. It's going to be what it's going to be, but there you go. That's the update on this thing, which is too bad. This one does have sentimental value. I've had this car damn near 20 years, so that's that. The Chevy Nova, people ask me left and right to buy this thing, but we'll see if that comes down to it. It might be for sale this weekend or whatever this week.
Keep an eye on Facebook.
It needs a little bit of love. I have a vinyl top for it. I was going to think about repainting it and all that, but if I need money in a hurry, it might just kind of go. But the problem is, I know it looks a little rough, but I know it's a real SS 4-speed. You know all the money that's been into it. I'm okay losing a few bucks, but I'm losing my shirt on it. We don't need the money that bad. So that's the story on that one. Another comment we had, which was kind of a funny one. So we've sold cars and we've also bought cars. Now, I bought a car out of Saskatchewan, which I haven't picked up yet, and it was cheap, but it's cool hot rod. And then we bought a 57 Chevrolet, and we bought this. Now, people are going, why are you buying when you're trying to sell? I hear ya, but this is a bit of a business here, and the business is watching Dan suffer working on junk hot rods. So that being said, I think I said the prices on all of them. This one was $2,500. That 57 Chevy was $1,500, which
and I bought it.
Danny paid for my early birthday present. And
anniversary.
What? Okay.
Birthday and anniversary.
And the other car was 2,000 bucks maybe. So, anyways, I'm out $4,500. The other cars.
The worm is on your hat.
Oh, gross. Is it on my hat?
No, I moved you away.
This is what we're talking about?
Isn't that a worm?
Pretty sure that's just a piece of grass.
Oh, I thought it was a worm.
Anyway.
You also freaked out.
Well, you okay. Clearly, I like them. I like my women like I like my cars. Cheap. So anyway, that's the plan with those. This I did just drop $3,700. My buddy Reg, Walker Auto Parts, and I still have another bill coming. But I bought floors front to back, quarter panels, wheel tubs, inner and outer rockers, all that sort of stuff. Basically, I just didn't buy the bolt-on stuff, so I got to buy fenders, doors, and a hood. But I find if you go in there and you say, I would like to buy a 70 Chevelle, please, they give you a bit of discount. So we're splitting it up in two orders. A, it's nicer for the Visa card, and B, I just simply couldn't have all those parts all at once. So I'm hoping we'll get the weld-on stuff for this here shortly, maybe in probably a week away at this point when this video comes out, and we can start working on that, and we can use the doors and the fenders as fitment, and then once the quarters and all that are kind of tacked on, the floors are in. It's gonna be a job. This is a big job, which I realize, but hey, that means lots of videos. And that being said, then I mean fenders, hood, doors, more of a bolt-on thing, so we can get those and swap them all over. So anywho, I mean, even though we're into all that stuff, we're less than $10,000 invested, and we have made, well, a fair bit more than that by selling all those cars. So, you know, kind of how business works. And ultimately, I didn't What's this?
Well, if you don't have a car to build, there's not really a channel.
We don't have a car to build. I mean, we're planning on, moving shops. We have all sorts of ideas here. I don't want to, get too much into it. We'll explain it all when it gets a little further. But it's going to be a lot of screwing around, a lot of travel, a lot of moving stuff around, buying new tools, all sorts of stuff like that. So we don't want to stop doing YouTube channel videos. We don't want to take any breaks. We want to keep going as best we can. So that's why obviously anything we're buying has to kind of have a ready to go in shop, or at the very least like a decent what we have here if we have to build a shop, if it's on the property, depending what pricing and all that works out to be. But for that to continue, you have to have cars, you have to have tools, you have to have space. And trust me, I've literally thought about selling every single thing here. It would eliminate all of our financial woes, but I'd be sad inside.
Did you know that this whole week, from July 1st, so today, till the 5th, there is a deal to be had?
Oh, really? What's this, Danielle?
15% off your entire order from ddspeedshop.ca. That includes the American website and the new worldwide website, which has some exclusive merch available worldwide. So 15% off from the 1st to the 5th of July with code DDSS at checkout.
There you go. Buy a shirt and we'll buy a 9/16 socket in your honor. So that's that over here. It's a disaster over here. I've been a little lazy on everything, but this Camaro is almost ready to go. I'm not gonna lie, I've literally sold the wheels off this thing. A guy's coming tomorrow to buy these wheels and we're gonna put something else on. If it's not bolted down, I'm frickin' selling it. So we got that. The Bobcat's for sale. We got a couple of people interested in that one, and that's kind of the way it goes. I'm hoping this will be gone here, maybe by the time this video comes out, or it should be very least be ready. So if you've been watching the videos, you'll be up to date on that one as well. So that's that. I think this is the last big car to go, and unless we have to sell one of the other ones, which I'm not against. If that's where it comes down to, so be it. Let's go back over and look at the cars. I prefer these ones. This one pisses me off. Doing two Camaros back to back is awful. I would not recommend doing two cars back to back. Owning a restoration shop, I'll give you guys credit. That's tough work. I'd rather work on something different, like a 55 Chevy 50 times over. But so there you go. That's where we're at for cars being sold. That's where we're at kind of property-wise. We're diligently looking at this point because now we do have the money. So thank everybody for watching.
Almost have the money.
We're almost there. We're very close. A couple of more cars have to sell and we can afford it. And you know what? I mean, it's very stressful, but we're privileged and grateful and thankful for all you guys watching, because ultimately all the money was in the hot rods and a small amount in savings, and we wouldn't be able to afford the hot rods if it wasn't for you guys watching all these videos, where our day jobs pay for regular life, and the YouTube, 100% of that money goes right out here to these fine hot rods. So I mean, that's the plan there. I would like to take a break from selling. Again, the Nova might go, or the 55 Chevy, my two-lane car, one or the other. That 56 two-door conversion we did last year, that, what do we call it, yellow banana?
The rotten
banana. That one's probably going to come home and be flipped as well. That'll be a pretty cheap car. I mean, there's not much to it. So that'll go. We're fighting out selling that 79 Ford that we just had deckled up or lettered up and all that. I mean, it's not a very valuable truck. It's $8,000 or $10,000. That was one, obviously, we wanted to kind of put a motor in with my buddy Peg from Zip Ties. But you know what? If that's another year down the road, then that's another year down the road. It all depends on what happens. The other cars all sold pretty easy. Hey, we were offered money on this one before we even touched it, but this one's a keeper for me. So that's the plan. Shortly here, once we get the Camaro done and those fine gentlemen from out east come out here, at that point I want to tear into this. This is gonna be, I'm a little nervous about it. I ordered the floors and the floor pans I got. It was cheaper to get a full floor pan with inner and outer rockers attached to it, which you're like, well, that makes a lot of sense. The problem is, for that floor to go under this thing, the rockers and everything have to be out, so there will be zero structure holding this car together. So I'll have to do some welding and some creative stuff there, or I might drill all the holes out and take the floors all apart and put them in one. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I tell you what's going to happen. This thing is going to be on some sort of homemade A-frame and an engine crane, and it's
just like that one was.
Yeah,
the homemade,
probably
do we
like.
still have the homemade gantry stuff?
We got blocks of wood and screws, and I got a. Oh, where is my? I walked into that like 50 times. Oh, it's on the ground here. Yeah. So we have everything we need. So that'll be a big project, getting the floor. So this thing's gonna be getting stripped down here before the parts show up. Behind the trim and batteries and stuff.
Oh, there.
So that's the big plan here. This will be ongoing project. I think I'm excited. I gotta say, I'm excited now until I'm knee deep in rust and zip discs. So there's that. And that 57 Chevrolet is gonna come home. John's already texted me about that motor and stuff. He's interested in it, so I'm sure John Cecil, hopefully they'll be involved. I love hanging out with those guys, so if they want to be involved there, it'd be kind of cool to take that motor apart, see what the deal is with it, get that car. I mean, we can only see half that car anyways, so see what that's all about. And
speaking of that car, a lot of people were wondering about the rust because the day we went, it was all wet on the floor inside. It was like kind of half flooded.
Oh, well, I mean, let's be honest. If you've watched the channel, you understand I wouldn't buy a rusty car. So, yeah, the deal was that was in a garage, which supposedly didn't ever have a whole lot of water in it. We have gotten so much rain, and literally the day before it rained, overnight was ridiculous.
Everything flooded.
Yeah,
overnight.
So it is what it is. You know what, though? Even when it comes to water on the ground, if a vehicle's sitting on a concrete pad, and even if the concrete pad is wet, I mean, it's moisture, there's humidity and stuff like that. But what kills cars is when it's sitting on something and the grass and all that grow up in around stuff, and it just it kind of gets all the water right in there and starts really going. So the car looked pretty solid. He did all that work in I'm gonna say the year 2000, and had primered stuff, and the primer was still there and not like this would happen, right, where it would kind of the rust through the primer. It didn't have a whole lot of that on it, which makes me think it was in a pretty dry area. Also, I've worked on way worse cars, so it is what it is. In the back of the tow truck is currently a one-piece floor pan that we have no use for it because we bought it for that 55 and the deal fell through. So
R.I.P. Pinky.
So we have a full floor pan for it if needed. But I don't think it's going to. I'll probably just end up making a rocker and put it on there. I don't know if that car is even going to be keeper or not. I mean, we'll get it together. We'll get it running. I do have a couple of sets of two-door doors. Might be interesting to two-door it. Have a yellow and white top. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I got a bunch of parts. In that 56 Chevy, I have that LS motor and a rebuilt Turbo 350, which is just sitting in there. I don't know if that's going to go with the car. And I have a Holley Terminator kit. I have so many parts here. And a lot of stuff I'm just trying to either put it in something, just like the wheels, like those wheels and tires I had for sale, and I put on the Camaro, and they're going to go with the car, and now someone's buying that. So these wheels are going to come off tonight, and they're going to go on the Camaro, and it's going to go. Everything has to kind of go, and we'll start again. That's just the way it's going to be. Lady in the back?
I can already hear the comments asking about my Nova.
Oh, yes. So... that car, I would like to sell, possibly. It was in the original budget to sell it, but not gonna lie, doing the daily videos has allowed us to probably keep that one. So we're gonna do that. We've taken on an employee, Danielle, behind the camera, is actually now doing editing, filming, all sorts of stuff like that, which has freed me up to be on the couch more. No, so I can film more stuff. As the talent of the channel, it just allows me more free time, because I gotta say, as much time as I spend cutting, welding, and all that sort of stuff, 25% of it was probably spent on the couch, editing videos, uploading, all that sort of stuff. So she's doing that for a discounted rate.
I would also like to clarify, I've been offering to do this for years.
I wasn't ready. As it turns out, I am now. There was no more time in the day. So obviously working full time and doing this, trying to put out 5-6 videos a week and stuff was taking its toll. So we've done that, and I think it's going to work out fantastic. And that we want to carry on doing that in the future, if possible. which assuming we get the shop, we clearly have the cars, and I'm not bright enough to do anything else. So we'll do that. Anyways, back to Danny's Chevy 2. We'll see how it goes. I have some stuff going on with my day job and all that. That's a busier time of year in the fall. And we were thinking about bringing the car home in the fall. And just talking about it, but there's the Route 66 sick week is in, I believe, sometime in October. And it's kind of in that area. It's, I think, 8 or 10 hour drive is where it starts. I would like to maybe do that, not the race, but just the sick ward, kind of drive around for a few days and then just hightail it home in October. If it works out, if not, it is what it is. We're paying ridiculous storage fees to be at New Burns, but it's worth every penny. The car does need a little bit of love, so we may have to drive out there and just give it a once over. I mean, run the valves. The front end had a bit of a clunk in it, so I think we need to reshim the kingpins and a few little things like that, but honestly, pretty good car. And realistically, Danny likes that car.
I do like that.
So if we can keep that one, I would really like to. And when we bought that one, I got roasted for spending $4,500 on it. Five grand. Spent $5,000 on a 4 Chevy too. Like, what a ripoff. And then we spent all the money on that thing. So I know full well if I go to sell that, we would be absolutely upside down on that thing, which is fine. But I mean, we put the whole front end on it. We had the motor built for it. It has a brand new transmission, Ford 9-inch. You know, like, it's just, that's a car that we wouldn't even get, like, labor aside, you wouldn't even get the cost of the parts back out of it. So it'd be kind of cool to keep it. I think we probably can. I mean, I don't know. I think an over the rainbow number on that car is 20 grand for it, Canadian, and trust me, we got that into it. That was well, not a blunder, but just life has changed since we built that car. I would like to keep it. I think that'd be kind of a cool keeper, and that's the plan. So ideally, I'd like to keep these three. You know.
Additional question. There have been questions of, why aren't you selling any of Danny's cars?
She won't let me.
That's not true.
We talked about selling Danny's cars, but ultimately, her 57, I mean, it's a two-door conversion. It's not a huge value car, and it has a huge amount of sentimental value because, well, I bought that car for you. It was one of the, the second tri-5 we did a two-door on. That was the first video that really, phone off there. It was the first car that really got us some traction on YouTube and brought a lot of people here. So that car was like our best investment we've ever made. Danielle, please.
I got it.
The sound and editing lady. So it just has a pile of sentimental value. I mean, that Caprice, I guess, but realistically, that thing's just a cool driver. It is what it is, old man special. I mean, it's not worth anything to sell.
And it's literally my daily driver.
It's your daily driver. The Chevy 2, same thing. We have a bunch of money tied into it. And I still think, obviously, it's getting pushed back a year at this point just because of the way life's going. But I think it'd be a cool drag and drive car. And I think we still want to do that. And Danny's interested in it. And that car is like 85% of the way there. It needs different rear gears, a tall converter, and like a roll cage and some seat time. And she'll have kind of a cool car. Nothing lightning fast, but it'd be fun. And that's kind of the goal there. So these three, Danny's 57, Danny's Chevy 2. I didn't count the Caprice. That's like the tow truck. We're gonna keep that as well because it's just, I've said before, I firmly believe that 1 ton is like the best investment I've ever made in an automobile, just because it's so handy to have. So we have that. So what's that? These three. Your 2 is 5. Your daily driver, the tow truck, 7. This is a keeper. That's 8. I'd like to keep the 55. That's 9. Wow, we're really getting up there. That tow truck or the Ford, I'd like to keep that as 10. I think that's the only ones that are keepers. Oh, then that 57 we just bought, a car out in Saskatchewan. Yeah, it adds up in a hurry. So anyways, that's kind of where we're at. Stuff could change every minute of every day, but those are the big ones that are gone. I don't really feel bad about selling any of them. They are what they are. Oh, we have the Model A still. We have that Sebring kit car. There's a lot of cars. There's a lot of stuff, and again, things may end up for sale. They may not, but at this point, to make a few $1,000s or sell something for a few $1,000s just isn't worth it. That's not going to make make it, like that Model A and stuff. People have been offering money for the body, but realistic, if we really need the cash, it's sitting right there, there. That's the easiest place to go, and then we'll just buy another one and build it, because that's how that is. So I think we kind of covered everything. Is that anything else you want to go over? Is there any other big questions people had? That's just kind of like a little shop update there. So yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave us a comment. But realistically, I think we got another couple weeks of selling stuff, dealing with those last 2 cars, parts for this. That 57's coming. I'm excited about that. So I think that's my plan. Is this is going to go in the other garage once the Camaro is done. I hope the Camaro sells quickly. This over there, 57 in here, and that'll just be kind of a fun one. Whether we, like I said, whether we keep it or not, or at the very least, it'll be back on the road and kind of be a car again. And then, yeah, 47 is going to go back in storage because nobody wants it, and I'm not giving it away. And I think that's kind of where we're at. So, Danny had some sort of shirt sale. If you'd like to buy one, we really do appreciate it. We spend all the money on hot rods. It's been crazy. I've been saving like the last 2 months. I haven't spent any money other than on cars, and I think insurance and gas. Otherwise, we've been eating like macaroni and cheese, but we're making it work. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.